off to Estonia we go, because that's who's on the line. It is, of course, the one and only Oliver Randalu. He's going to be taking on Jakob Krol. Jakob Krol will pull up as the usual formation. So the usual formation falling into hand here. Oliver Randalu, the higher qualifier, sitting in 9th place. Jakob Krol yesterday telling us that he wasn't feeling comfortable. The car wasn't feeling the greatest, but did a good job in qualifying, managed to get himself into the show, and now he starts to creep already off that line and through the gears they go as Oliver Randalu leads them in that yellow E46 BMW. A nice flick to angle. Oh, look at this from Randalu, absolutely up and gone, but he's shallow on the outside zone. Big handbrake drag down into 4 as Jakob Krol on the inside of the circuit trying to make up some lost ground. And Oliver Randalu is absolutely disappearing in the distance as Jakob Krol has nothing left in this battle. He just can't hang with Oliver Randalu as they take it across the line. Teams have said, like, look, the car's fine, let's just get out and practice and try and do the best we can. We're back on the line with Oliver Randalu now in the chase position. As you can see, Jakob Krol in that carbon Kevlar S15 off the line. Through the gears they come, down, and Jakob Krol very slow. Looks like a big wobble from the front wheel there for Jakob Krol, and you can see it. The initiation held back Oliver Randalu as he now flicks in a little wobble. He's shallowed up the angle. Both guys struggling to get to outside zone 4. As now Oliver Randalu makes a dive, pushes up onto the front wheel with that S15 as they fire through down into outside zone 7. More pressure applied from the Estonian as he now works his way right onto the door and across the line. It's a holiday. We're going to Spain. We'll have a holiday. Well, here we go, decisions in from the judges. Slide them left for Oliver Randalu, or right for Jakob Krol. And look at this, Krol already knows it's going to be Randalu. Oh, but it's a split decision. Oliver Randalu gets the win. One judge going for a one more time. Not as clear cut for him, but the other two deciding that Oliver Randalu will be the guy that goes through to the top 16, the main show. And they'll be very, very happy with that. Right, here we go. It doesn't stop getting heavier. Every single run of this top 16, again, looks like a final, as we mentioned, in top 32. It's going to be Laurie Heinonen to take on Oliver Randalu. Look, Randalu has been on the podium before. Can he do it again? He has a big ask right now. Heinenen's on a flyer. He looks confident. No change in the car. He just nods to the cameraman. He said, thumbs up. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's business as usual for Laurie Heinonen. The Finnish driver sits alongside the Estonian of Oliver Randalu, and Randalu is in the zone. Look at this, fully focused. He's not messing around. He means business this weekend. The anti-lag fires as Randalu starts to creep, and he pulls away as Heinonen now fires through the gear. And look at this, as they flick across, Randalu gets himself out of formation and makes a mistake on initiation, and it's business as usual for Laurie Heinonen. Sets himself up beautifully for outside zone 4, works his way down the hill and then back up. Now Randalu trying to find himself back into this fight, trying to gain some lost proximity. He's shallowing up the angle, cutting the circuit, and Heinonen looks rock steady. Almost driving a scale electrics, if you like, because it looks like that car literally goes exactly where it should do every single run. But now Randalu under some pressure, and he would have felt that in the car as a driver, but also been told that by his spotters.
Yeah, of course. He's going to have notes going into this and understand what he needs to do, which is going to be perfection. But that also means that Laurie Heinonen can chase as close as he wants.
Exactly, there we go. Heinonen would have been told to give him a little bit of room. There were some mistakes in that lead, but Heinonen now jumps into formation onto that back bumper, and he does give him the room to manoeuvre. Heinonen doesn't want to make any mistakes, doesn't want to put himself in any danger, but he does a little bit there as he drops the wheel off the edge of the circuit, kicks up some dust, and now Randalu starts to pull away. Heinonen not really putting himself in the fight, and I think Heinonen panicked a little bit there. He's shortcutting the circuit massively. Randalu fires all these outside zones through the checklist and across the line.
So, I mean, it could come down to some sort of power issue. He's pointing.
He's pointing, yeah. So what's his...
Axle?
Oh, has he got a D-bead? Oh, he's got a D-bead.
Wow.
So there we go. And I'll tell you when that happened, when he come into outside zone 4, I see the dust kick up there, and Heinonen dropped a wheel off the edge of the circuit. That gave him a D-bead, hence why he couldn't get through. And I'm also being told that James Deane's car is down to 6 cylinders for the runs. So James Deane won that battle on 6 cylinders. Fresh news coming from the paddock to my headset.
Now, I'm hoping that's not like a permanent 6 cylinders.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
They do have a full spare engine. I don't think there's enough time to make that swap. I have seen them. I mean, we even saw it yesterday where he was playing with spark plug wire, so maybe that's all it is. Let's hope that's all it is. But if anybody can figure out, it's going to be James Deane. Here's the thing, too. You're down 2 cylinders, and you have a lot of nitrous.
Hold that full. Slide them left for Heinonen, right for Randalu, and I knew this was going to happen. It's going to be Oliver Randalu, ladies and gentlemen, who takes it through to the top 6, the Grade 8. Well, here we go. We go down back to the start line where all the stories are started and some of them finished, because right now James Deane isn't on the start line. He's back in the paddock with spark plug issues. They can't get that car to run on 8 cylinders. They're struggling to work out what's wrong with the car. Oliver Randalu, on the other hand, is warming tyres. As soon as he pulls to that start line, the 2-minute clock will be sold, and there you go. You see our marshal down there with James. He said 2 minutes to go. They have 2 minutes to get that car from the paddock to the start line to activate the battle.
And it's not a short drive. It's not like this is next door. He's basically on the opposite end of the track where we're seeing that large outside zone. They're even further back from that as we see the clock tick down. The next 1 minute and 50 seconds is going to determine the future of James Deane, potentially the future of the entire championship right here, because of 2 cylinders. So hopefully, I'm really hoping this ends up just being a spark plug wire issue or something small like that, but you don't know. These engines are so high strung, and they really beat these cars into submission every single run.
Yeah, it is. It's like a wrestling match between the driver and the car some of these times, because the driver is wrestling this car into doing what it needs to do. Here he goes, the bonnet shuts on James Deane's car. He fires it up. It sounds like it could be running on 8 cylinders. He looks at the dash, and you can hear him. You know these cars. He looks across to the cameraman and he says, is it enough? He doesn't know. He shakes his head. He slams it in gear. He says, well, look, we only have one opportunity, Jacob, and that's just to go for it. Yeah. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, we tried everything we could. Drama already at round 2 at Drift Masters 2025 as James Deane makes his way to the start line. This is hanging on by a thread. 50 seconds to go. He's going to make it in time, I'll tell you that. But will the car make it to the end of this run?
Yeah, and really James isn't going to know exactly how this car is running or operating until he makes it into the burnout box. It's the same story we saw with Dave Egan, where, okay, everything runs, it seems okay, gets into the burnout box, realizes there's an issue and goes to send it anyways. James Deane's got a full engine sitting in those pits. I know they thought about swapping it, and I know they looked at the time and said, I don't think it can happen. And this is it. 20 seconds remain for James Deane to get that car to the lines. You can see him firing down what is, I believe, the front straight of this racetrack. Yeah, and he's already trying to scrub in those front tires on the way over, because he's not going to have a lot of time to scrub in the back. So.
No, he certainly isn't. He's probably been doing a little bit of tyre warming as much as he can. Yeah, look, and he's been given the signal. He made it in time, just about. But yeah, our start line Marshall Martin's like, look, we need to go. And look at Oliver Randalu in the car. He's like, hey, I've been sat here for 2 minutes. I need to re-warm my tyres. Yeah. Oh, look at this. And Randalu now starts to put on a protest.
I mean, I get it. So let's see here. Did they just say they timed out?
He's been disqualified from competition. Oliver Randalu gives a signal to say it's been 2 minutes. Randalu leaves the line, and James Deane is disqualified at the line.
Wow. This is something we are going to be talking about for a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. You have 2 minutes. Everybody plays by the same clock. And this one ran out on James Deane.
Yeah, look at James Deane. He accepts the fate, and he shakes our start line Marshall Martin's hand and says, look, what can I do? Yeah. He knew he couldn't fire that car into that first turn without warming the tyres. No. It's too risky. It's too dangerous. James has already been in a situation this weekend that he was so upset about, he didn't even want to talk about it with anyone else. And James wouldn't take that risk again. That's because he is the machine, the sportsman.
We near the end here, and Jack Shanahan pulling up into that lead line. Randalu falling back into the chase section.
Yeah, no option for Oliver Randalu. Jack Shanahan opting to lead first and keeping to that, that formation that we're used to for many years of drifting. Jack Shanahan doesn't want to rewrite the script. Maybe later on in the year he'll try and switch it up a little bit, but this round, for now, Jack Shanahan feeling comfortable. Look at that, thumbs up, he's ready to rock and roll, and he would have been given all the encouragement for everyone in the paddock, everyone behind the scenes saying, look, this could be the time to shine. But Randalu, he says, I've been here before, I've been in a final. I want to get back in that final. I want to be back on the podium. He doesn't even look at the camera. He's fully focused as Randalu waits to get the signal from our start line Marshall Martin. This is it. This is the first battle in our final 4. They get the green light to go, and they are off the start line through the gears. It's going to be Jack Shanahan to lead in Oliver Randalu, and it looks slow, but it isn't slow as Shanahan clicks the clutch. Randalu is all over the side and the back bumper of that GT86. Jack Shanahan fires into outside zone 4, and Randalu onto the door. Look at this, tucked up close and personal. Randalu is not messing around. Here is Mate. How did he even do that? It didn't even make sense. Randalu is a man possessed right now. Lead from Shanahan was exquisite.
Yeah, at some point you don't think about driving, and it's just pure instinct, and that's what that was. That was just pure instinct of, I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm just going to drive how I know how to drive.
Well, here we go. It's time to switch him around. Shanahan would have been given all the notes for the spotters to say, look, you need to go above and beyond right now. As they come off the line, they get the green light. Randalu slams through the gears. Jack Shanahan now falls into the position, but Randalu is up and gone. Can Shanahan make up some lost ground here? He makes a dive, he fires it on big angle. He's coming in backwards to Randalu. That's insane from Jack Shanahan as Randalu glues it to the outside line. Now Jack Shanahan trying to repay the favour. As Randalu drives on the angle, he goes for that inner and outer zone. And look at that, Shanahan pushing him across the line.
Part of me wants to know what they're saying, but I think
it's not PG, so we can't say it. There we
go.
Who's it going to be? Oh, it's going to be a one more time. There's no messing around. The judges just look at me and go, oh yeah, we're going to do that thing again. These two guys are going to go at it again. Well, we're about to find out because he's warming the tyres up and he's going to pull to the start line.
Nope.
No, he doesn't. He keeps it as he is. He pulls into that lead position. Jack not changing what he's used to. Jacob, that's just what he knows.
It's pattern.
Yeah,
it's just pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pull into this spot, I run my lead run, and then I door him the next one.
Yeah,
that's all it's going through.
But Oliver Randalu says, okay, well, I'll just door you first, like he did last time.
And there's a bit of an advantage. Randalu, I mean, he's got fresher tires in the chase. It's much easier to run a chase like that. So, but yeah, Jack, creature of habit.
Yeah. Knows what he likes, sticks to what he knows.
This is true. Very true.
Exactly that. So there we go. They sit on the line ready to go. Randalu, I mean, I don't know what more Randalu could do in that chase because it was phenomenal from where I was sitting, that's for sure. And I'm sure you guys watching online with us will agree. But the light goes green and they're through the gears. It will be Shanahan to lead out Randalu as they flick through the gears and flick the cars to angle. Look at this from Randalu. He's closer than he was before. Pushes Jack Shanahan as wide as he'll go to the edge of the circuit. They scrub the speed down into outside zone 4. Shanahan fulfills the outside zone and Randalu's back there again. Will he try it? He certainly does. He drops down on the inside. Randalu more aggressive than he was before. Closer than he was before across the line. Watching on the big screen as Shanahan pulls into the chase position. The thumbs go up either side. The door slams shut. The cars go into gear and they come off the line under the green light. It will be Randalu to lead out Jack Shanahan. Only one spot in the final away. So look at that. A strange initiation for Randalu. Massive understeer for Jack Shanahan. He has to shut it down as Randalu given the opportunity to drive away. I would love to know what happened to Jack Shanahan as they fire through. Randalu puts their car right where it needs to be, stands on the throttle, whatever on the foot brake and gets it across the line. Well, there we go, they're out of the cars. A round of applause for both those guys. Love to find out what happened to Jack's car. He goes over to the front wheel, has a look, and I think he says, yeah, no, it wouldn't do it. Yeah, just that power steering, just understeered clean off the edge of the track. Unfortunately, nothing Jack could do. Slide him left for Jack, right for Oliver Randalu. Who's going to the final? Of course, it's going to be Oliver Randalu. Oliver Randalu gets the win, advances through to the final. Jack Shanahan will face off against Kevin Purser in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. That is going to be interesting if they can get that car fixed. There's not a lot of time. This is it. This is what every moment of the day has been building up to. Two guys, two BMWs, two very different engine builds, but two same power. One 18-year-old guy faces off against a man who's been on the podium before at Drift Masters. He's done multiple seasons in Estonia, multiple seasons in Drift Masters. He knows the ropes, but he never got to the top step of the podium just yet. This man has never got this far in competition as of yet. This is a dream for Itay Sadeh. What can he do in this brand new car? This is it. The road to the championship begins for one of these drivers. Who could it be? The light goes green. Itay starts to creep off the line already. Oliver Randalu slams through the gears as BMW goes against BMW. They fire in, identical initiation. Randalu almost straight lines, there's that much grip in the car. He fires into outside zone 4, puts the car where it needs to be, and Itay Sadeh has nothing at the moment. He's not in the conversation. Randalu is a man possessed as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit from angle to angle. Top 5, I'm going to say now that if he would have put one of these lead lines down in his qualifying, he probably would have been way up there, but he just can't. He couldn't do it yesterday. The nerves were too much. Round 2 nerves settled settled in for him, but now he's blown off the cobwebs. He feels back at home in this BMW. The story could come alive for Randalu right now as he sits there feeling even more confident, knowing that Itay Sadeh wasn't on the door. He couldn't give him the chase. Itay Sadeh says, I still believe I can be there. I can still believe I can win a round of Drift Masters. Who will it be standing on the top step? Let's find out as they go through the gears. Randalu looks across to Itay Sadeh as they fire those cars in. Randalu now loses a little ground as Itay puts a car right to the edge of the circuit, but Randalu goes wide. Wheels over the edge of the circuit. He holds on to it. How did Oliver Randalu hold on to that run? He glues it to the side of Itay Sadeh's 2 Series BMW. They fire through that inner zone as Randalu takes another bite out of the back bumper. Well, here we go. They're on track, arm in arm, because for both of these guys, it's a dream come true. But who will be the round 2 winner? Slide them left for Randalu, right for Sadeh. It's going to be the man from Estonia. Oliver Randalu does it. He wins his first ever round of Drift Masters and takes the top step on the podium. He's elated. He jumps onto the roof of the car. Years of hard work, struggle and pain come to this moment as Oliver Randalu finally does it. The emotions burst out of him, and that to any driver means the world. Oliver Randalu wins round 2 of Drift Masters here in Spain 2025. Itay Sadeh, he did everything he could, but Randalu was the man this weekend to get the job done.